Hey, what's up, everybody? Um, I'm just waking up, so bear with me a little bit. I meant to make videos about each of these fights, and I know the event's going away in like 5 hours, less than 5 hours now. But I figured I'd go on here and speak about it a little bit, just my ideas, what my plans for the fights, and what orb I chose, and stuff like that. Um, so these are my teams, right, that I used. For part seven, for example, the orb I had used, you can ignore those. Those are just based off your team. The orb I had used is inflicting break on count target, right? So my idea was basically um, use Prompto for instant breaks because these enemies, they were in they were in all enemies LC. Prompto was synergy there already, right? So, oh my god, my messages. Prompto was synergy there, right? And basically, he could auto break them when they couldn't get broken. He could break them no matter what with his follow up, his LB follow up. So my idea was to basically get breaks off of that, right? And then Jet could also break with his S1 if need be to keep the orb up. So that's why I brought Prompto and Jet. Prompto also has synergy, so his damage is pretty high, which is pretty good. Um, he also has like slight debuffs, like attack down, stuff like that. Um, Also, I brought Pain just for some extra auras, but if I'm looking at this correctly, she was in the wrong spot. I remember being in the fight and I was like, okay, she's in the wrong freaking spot. But I was like, let me just continue with the fight, and I was able to complete it with them. Uh, as for part six, not just locking and clean, this boss is just really tanky. So I messed around with a bunch of teams here. Um, The boss is not hard or anything. The ads heal the boss, so it was really just about burning down the boss as fast as possible. The defeating orb I used to is the fifth one, which is count target takes brave damage from debuff, and HP damage to count target from debuff increased. So you only get +1 for the second one, right? I didn't worry about the first one. The count target takes brave damage from debuff because that involves some taking turns to even utilize. Um, The second one, you could just use Kurosami Call, right? So I had Kurosami Call and I had Noctis and Burst. And basically, every time he would attack with his follow up, that'd be +1. And then +1 from whatever the Queen was doing. So it'd be +2 essentially per turn. Um, this was a, I don't like to call it tanking spam. So this was literally just using burst effects to destroy this boss and kill him via Machina. Having knocked his burst plus up, and then having Machina go into his burst, um, and just spam HP plus all day. Of course, I had the usual calls up for Neo, Kurosame, and the third was probably Flan or something to further augment Noctis. I don't remember the calls. I wish I could remember them, but that's what I did for that fight, and it worked out pretty well. I mean, it was only +2, but by reimburse and stuff, it doesn't go. It only goes up. So yeah, that was my goal with six. Just rush him down because it's just super tanky. There is a slow way to do this, but it's just a hassle. Um, Part five, this was the one where I was like, bring Garnet because these guys are so annoying. So kind of simple with this as well. I used the 500,000 HP damage in one turn. Mind you, this doesn't have to even be on one target. It could be on. It could be total. It's total. So as long as you do 500k total in your one turn, this goes up by 4. Obviously, the reason why I chose Strago and Garnet obviously destroys this. She destroys everything. Her follow up does more than what 300k per target. and even on a target by themselves, I'm sure she's able to hit 500K no problem. I have her. It it's it should be known that I had her blue armored already and burst bust, and she had an ultimate weapon, so her caps were really high, which allowed me to hit this shit even more. Strago was just for delay, um, via his LB and keeping up the orb as well when all three of them were out. Mia was there just for the 100% defense down, attack down, and her trap actually could keep up the orb as well because I think it was like 100 something K per target or something like that. Uh, so that Vanilla was basically there just so everyone could do damage, but Garnet was doing damage anyway. I actually don't even know my reason for Vanilla. I think the bosses actually buffed themselves at some point, uh, and I have Vanilla just to strip. That probably was it. I brought the usual calls. Kurasane, um, Jack wasn't even needed because everybody was capping. I think it was Kurasane, uh, probably the Bluff, and whoever else gives you HP damage up. Um, Now, part four. This one, let's see. It's the orb I used. Oh, okay. I already know what I did here. So, Core Setzer and Cloud of Darkness. Obviously, I brought Setzer because I didn't want them to, if they got turns, I didn't want them to do any damage to me. My thought process was warrior like. You can't heal in this fight because they go into like a white mode or whatever where anytime you try to heal yourself you take damage instead. So I just figured, you know what? I go with Setzer, right? Setzer will stop them from dealing damage to me and it will keep my damage up via rainbows. Because I mean I'll just keep freezing them. And then Cloud of Darkness and Core because they have follow-ups. As you just, the orb was only +1 on each element. So what I did here as well is I gave Core Krau's Call. I would have used Ash Call, but Ash Call healing on it, so that was enough. So I gave Crow Call to Core, and he was able to handle the orb basically off of follow-ups and basically just spank this with Cloud of Darkness BT plus. Yeah, let me keep that in mind. Cloud of Darkness was BT plus. She was blue armored. Core is blue armored, and Sets is blue armored. So that really does matter in this because that's a huge increase in damage for everyone, a huge ceiling. So I don't want to leave those details out. They were all blued. But yeah, Core kept this up on his own with no problem, and I didn't have to worry about damage because of Setzer, and well, I didn't have to worry about damage taken or damage being dealt because of Setzer. It was more than enough. This one. Oh, the monks. Okay, these guys were annoying, if only for one reason. So the monks, I think it's at thresholds. I couldn't figure it out, or if they take turns. But the monks will throw a debuff on you that stops you from dealing damage. Basically, you can't gain any brave, which means you basically can't deal damage to them once you hit them with the brave you have accumulated already. You just sit at 0. Um, as for the orb, I don't even remember what orb I brought for this. Oh, play inflicts 8 or more debuffs in one turn. That's why I brought Yuffie. So Yuffie puts like 3 or 4 debuffs on each target. That adds up to more than 8. That adds up to like 9 or 12. Remember, it's per target. It just has to be in one turn. So I had Yuffie here for 2 things. One, to cleanse the debuff, because she cleanses when she throws the debuffs at them. So it's a 2-in-1. She'll cleanse and she'll hit the orb. So that's why I use this orb, right? Well, I really didn't have a choice, but that's why I use Yuffie for this. And then Orin because it's 3 targets, and they're just going to keep attacking him, which means he'll keep damage up via countering. And then Twins because Twins do great when there's 2 or more targets, right? They have a lot of AoE damage. Just to keep in mind, none of them were blue armored. They had their Rufini armor, their 210 armor, but nothing was realized or nothing like that. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I'm really tired. Yeah, they weren't blue armor, and they all had their Rufini armor, and that's it. And Twins were basically just mowing these guys down. Orn was doing great, and Yuffie was the cleanser. I won't even talk about these two fights. It's a Chaos and it's a Cosmos. You just use whatever units you got left over and try to get some extra points if you can. Remember, you only need 300 points. You don't need. I got 357, which just shows that there's some kind of leeway in these. Um, but you only need 300. So for these last two, just try to honor as many things as you can, as many codes as you can. Like trying to bring three giant swords or three single sword characters and stuff like that. And just honor those so you can get as many points from it as possible. Um, they're not really a problem. Everyone knows these guys are cleansing AoE, really annoying shit. You can use RCL or call to stop them from doing anything. They won't even be able to HP attack. I'm pretty sure that's not what I did. I'm thinking about that now. But yeah, Zach here just so they just target him all the time. Plus, they like to target all a lot, so Zach can keep his damage up. Squall because you know he's an AoE god, and Ash to keep damage up via enchants and heals. Cosmos. Again, not gonna really talk about it. It's the Flan. We fought the Flan back in Dimensions, and I think when the Blanc came out or some shit. It was nothing. I just brought my last overpowered team. Bart's had Burst Plus. He was just there just to make the shit easy as hell. Kata, because I never used her before, I got her LD, and I was like, you know, she's basically set to when it comes to the freezing. Not when it comes to no damage increases, but she has dot in her kit. She can grab aggro for one turn, and she can stop them from dealing damage to you. Any kind of HP damage that is. And then lightning because I can't really think of nobody else. I'm sure I had a bunch of other things, but it didn't matter. Yeah. So that's my reason for all these. What I will say is Pain can be substituted from Part 7. Shit. Like, I just brought her some kind of aura bot. I don't know why I just got that message. But I just brought her some kind of aura bot. And, I fucked up when it came to the aura bot. Jack had Burst Plus, and he used Blue Armored. Like I said, 6 was a tank and spink kind of thing. I just did not want to deal with them. That's one of the worst fights to me, honestly. I do not like it. I had to overpower through it because I just didn't want to deal with it. Part 5, Garnet made that a cinch. That probably would be the worst fight if it weren't for Garnet. Part 4, again, easy with Setzer and Core and Cloud of Darkness to keep the orb up no matter what. You're basically getting +2 on every turn instead of +1. So the orb, you keep the orb up. The orb is not going down or staying still. Yuffie was amazing, like I said earlier. Cleansing and hitting the orb for the debuffs. I did have LD for her, by the way, if that even matters. Yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say about these. Hopefully they help you, and hopefully they help anybody out there. I know there's only 4 hours left, so let me hurry up and upload these. Talk to you guys later. Peace.